I just pushed it a little. That's all.
The low gravity here only keeps your condition in remission. You should know better than to exert yourself.
I know. You're right. But when it comes to the beauty of the Earth, I can't help myself. I can't wait for the day when we can finally return.
I was created here. I don't know if there's a place for me on Earth. Professor Gerald made me the ultimate life form. I should be the key to all manner of medicines. Curing you.
You and Grandfather are doing your best. I'm just as happy to spend time with you here while you both research.
Just wait here. I'll be back. I promise. This isn't right.
This is the Guardian Units of Nations. Prepare to be boarded.
The soldiers. They storm the Ark, destroy all evidence. But it's too soon. It's happening too quickly. Professor, we must... Was no mere nightmare. And it all began in view of the Ark. Could he have survived? No. That can't be. I need answers.
Tell that freak to stay away from me!
Abe! Shadow? Are you alright?
Maria, I'm fine. It's just... The professor created me using alien DNA. The Black Arms, he called them. The same DNA as this larva. This ugly, heartless creature. I may look like a hedgehog, but I'm really no different than this thing.
It's not true. You have a big heart. It may be difficult for you to express it, but I know that deep down you really do care. About me. About everyone. What you do is what defines you. I know you're having a hard time finding answers, but I'm certain you will one day. Then, you'll find even more people you can trust.
Face me, inferior models.
Evening, handsome. Didn't expect to see you here.
Rouge! What are you doing here?
Just gathering some intel for Gun. I convinced Omega to be my backup. What's your story?
I need a spacecraft to reach the Ark. I have reason to believe the Black Arms have returned.
Well, you're out of luck here. This is just a supply depot. Hold that thought.
I call dibs.
Take it out.
Now about this spacecraft. I can take you to a ship, but in return you're going to have to promise to come to Sonic's birthday party. I'll take that as a yes. Now then, interested in raiding a gun base? So, Gun funded the research that created you, and when they got you, they sealed you away for 50 years. My point is, don't get too caught up on any vendettas tonight.
Gun is not my enemy tonight. Just an obstacle in my way.
I call dibs.
Control!
I wanted to destroy it.
Shadow to Rouge. I'm in position.
Copy that and initiating launch. Omega, hurry! You have to take out those guns!
This is Commander Abraham Tower. All forces, stand down.
about that intel you requested.
And aided in the destruction of millions in gun assets.
Sorry, but Shadow needed some help saving the world.
If that's the case, despite all that's passed between us, he saved the world from Black Doom. He should have known I would have supported him if he asked.
When has Shadow ever asked for permission?
I'm so glad they brought back together Team Dark.
There's only one person who could ever do that.
True.
Damn.
And she was lost to us a long time ago.
That life was taken from me long ago. I need to focus on the mission at hand.
We haven't seen Shadow and Rouge and Omega together since Sonic 06. Let's think about that. That was 2006. I so want them to make a Sonic Adventure 3. Or at least a remake of Adventure 2, but I know they're not going to do it. They're probably not going to do it. Oh yeah, this is Black Doom. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. So, the last episode we fought the Biolizard. Oh yeah, we got this Mantis Ray thing. That's pretty cool. Speaking of Sonic 06, this castle looks very familiar. So does that eagle. Honestly, this is the best stage they could have brought back from Sonic 06, aside from Crisis City. When I think of Sonic 06, I actually think of this more than I do Crisis City. So when it comes to Sonic games, I wouldn't say that this was the best, like the good old days, but this is like just after we had a solid like 3 games. We had Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2, and then we had Sonic Heroes, which admittedly was done by, I think, a different... I mean, it was still done by Sonic Team, but we had like a different like animation studio working on the effects and the CGI clips that you see in the opening and endings of those games. But then after Sonic Heroes, I mean, Sonic Heroes was basically maybe the beginning of the experimentation with 3D Sonic games. We had let's see, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, which pretty much just focused on what Sonic normally focuses on, which is, you know, high-speed levels with alternative paths, you know, like we're seeing here. This is good, you know, we have alternative paths. So it adds to replayability. In one playthrough you can take one path, and another playthrough you can take several others. If you're really good at the game, you know, there's a solid path to follow. But honestly, Sonic was never about, like, you know, being good at video games. It was just taking you through like a level, like a platforming level, at high speed, which is something that could only be done on the Sega console at the time. Like you wouldn't be able to find a game on Sonic Nintendo's consoles because, you know, Sega was obviously faster at the time. That's what differentiated Sonic from Mario. But is that the Black Arms? What's that doing here? Oh yeah, you gotta do this. I didn't do it right. Or did I? I don't know. But yeah, Sonic Heroes started the whole, like, experimentation with Sonic games, where, like, you know, now instead of controlling just Sonic, you control 3 characters at once, and each had a different ability, and I liked that. I thought Heroes was actually, despite criticisms, I thought Heroes was a cool concept. But you know, but I digress. Like, I think that when they went from Heroes straight to Shadow the Hedgehog, you know, they were going for the more edgier kind of gameplay, similar to how, like, Jak and Daxter went from, you know, childish platforming at the time. That's what it was really called. And then they went from platforming to adding third-person shooter gameplay. Gun games were popular at the time, so Sega just took what was popular at the time. They were like, you know what, we have an edgy character, so let's make a whole game about him. But, you know, we gotta modernize, you know, we gotta make it as edgy as possible, because that's what's selling to kids these days. Edgy characters. And I think that kind of ruined Shadow the Hedgehog for a lot of people. But, you know, like, anybody who played Sonic Adventure 2, you already know Shadow's hero, so it's like, there was really no reason for Shadow to go through the whole, like, you know, hero versus villain karma phase, but it was cool to see, you know, all the different outcomes and stuff like that. Like, I thought it was cool back in the day, like, you know, oh yeah, it was basically a series of what ifs. Like, what if Shadow was a villain? Like, how would he do this? And, like, what if Shadow was, like, neutral? What if he was a hero? So it was basically a game of what ifs with no clear direction and stuff. I've always felt like if they would have just done Shadow the Hedgehog like they did Sonic Heroes, like, you play through, like, you choose if you want to be a villain or a hero from the beginning, and then you go through the whole game like that, and then do the true ending, I think that it would have worked a lot better. Like, it would have worked, like, Shadow being confused about who he is, thinking he's an android, so now he's got no choice but to be this evil android because he doesn't know who he is, and then discovering, oh, he's not an android, he's Shadow the Hedgehog. He's the Shadow the Hedgehog. You know, he's the one everybody's rooting for to save the world. So, like, you know, and it was just like a concept, you know, of like, you know, what if Shadow were made like even edgier than he already is, you know, driving motorcycles, shooting guns. But obviously that didn't really resonate with the fan base. So, I mean, it didn't go over well with parents either. I mean, jeez, imagine explaining to your parent why is Shadow swearing. You know, it's like, is he supposed to be like Sonic? No, he's supposed to be like, you know, a more adult version of Sonic, I guess, but you get my drift. Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, came out just the year after Shadow. I think it was just the year after Shadow for the Xbox PS3. And, you know, they learned their lesson. Like, there was no more gun gameplay, there was no more cursing. You know, like, that was just a one and done thing. Obviously, reception to it was pretty bad. But, you know, reception in general, I was excited. People were very, very excited to play Sonic the Hedgehog and meet this new hedgehog, Silver the Hedgehog. I think Silver always had like the short end of the stick when it came to being introduced in the worst Sonic game. Not because it was a bad storyline, but because it was just an unfinished mess that desperately needed to be fixed. But yeah, shoot. What did I need to do there? That being said, though, I thoroughly enjoyed Sonic 06. I just didn't enjoy falling through the floor a bunch of times, having to restart the game 700 times, the loading screens being atrocious, and then the world map was just... It didn't need to have a world map, okay? It's like, I thought Sonic Adventure 2, you know, an indication that, like, we needed to step away from Sonic games having a world map. And then suddenly, you know, we had one again in Unleashed. Though not on the Wii version. You know, on everything else. But, you know, like, the point of the world map, Sonic Adventure, like the first actual 3D Sonic game, was obviously because it was in competition with, like, Mario. And, you know, Mario 64 had a world map. So, on the first 3 Sonic games, of course, needed to have a world map. But yeah, world maps only work if they do what their function is to do, like, is to basically introduce you to the gameplay, let you experiment with different moves and such, and basically just find your way to the next level, which is the main function of world maps.
This is the ultimate power.
The thing I like about the stage is that you, like, I've always loved the concept of just, like, flying top of a giant eagle, like having a giant eagle carry you, like the eagles from Lord of the Rings. That's what they remind me of. Go! The Valley of Steel. I wouldn't be surprised if concepts from Sonic 06 were reused in Sonic and the Black Knight because of the whole castle aesthetic and the long grass. And there were a lot of stages in the Black Knight where you had like long grass and you had castles in the background. You also had some enemies that looked similar to the Iblis enemies, but you know, not going to go into all that right now. I always thought it was cool, like, you know, the Sonic and Shadow, like, they had monsters in Shadow the Hedgehog, and that trend kind of continued with Sonic 06. Oh, are we going to be able to go fishing with Big? That should be a nice distraction right now.
Hello. Your name's Shadow, isn't it? Have you seen my good buddy, Froggy?
Lost Froggy again.
Hey there. Sure is peaceful here. Yeah.
Okay. Wish there were Chow Gardens so we could spend our rings on something. I'm fully confident they're gonna bring the Chow Gardens back. I've always been confident, like, eventually Sega's gonna realize that fans of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, like, Chow Gardens were a big part of that. They were. That was not supposed to be on this.
Observation.
What is this?
Try.
Oh, I get it. Oh. This is Bowser.
Hey there.
I'm gonna pause it right here because I'm actually stuck on where to go. So until I figure it out, I'll see you all in the next stream.